Ugh, what is this, like the 5th time I'm recording this? No, it's only the 3rd. It's only the 3rd time. Okay. We can do this. Silly plane.
Now American 95, 10 miles out on the ILS. American 95, Kennedy Tower, falling over 319 ahead, 1050.
Hello everybody, I'm DerTebbers. Welcome aboard. Welcome to Seattle and aboard our Vickers Viking. Ain't it nice? I've recorded this multiple times because I found a problem with this plane, but it's sort of like one of those problems that you might be able to overlook, and then again you might not. That depends. So on this screen here, you'll notice there's switches here. These switches work. This one does not. That's sort of an important one for your starter. If you turn off your fuel cock, you have no way of starting the airplane back up. You would think, oh, I'll press shift 1 to get my gauges, because often that fixes these. Well, if you do that, it crashes Flight Simulator X. Yeah, it's good. Also, there's water in my cockpit. It just kind of floats there. Yeah. You know, maybe it's not the best plane, but it's an interesting plane. It's got a dolphin on the front. That's a redeeming quality, isn't it? And when the plane bobs, it looks like the dolphin's jumping out of the water. Sploosh. Jump. Sploosh. Yes, okay. Enough of that. Let's power up R1. Well, it depends. It is, in this particular aircraft, a Napier Lion 12-cylinder water-cooled broad arrow piston engine, 450 horsepower. And we're up on plane just that fast. Of course, there's no flaps on a plane like this. And look at this, we're up on fully on plane. I should be able to give a little nudge to the elevator, and away we go into the skies. Into the skies. The Vickers Viking, a British single-engine amphibious aircraft. Amphibious meaning, look at that, I got landing gears. I can go on land if I feel like it. I just felt like taking off out of water because meh. Designed for military use shortly after World War I. Let's turn it down slightly. A slightly later version of the aircraft is known as the Vickers Vulture or the Vickers Vanillus. Or Vanillus? Whatever. I don't even know. Research on Vickers' first amphibious aircraft began in December 1918 with tests, and this is interesting, of alternative hull and fuselage designs occurring in an experimental tank at St. Albans in Hertfordshire, England. Now, a lot of times, what they did back in those days is you just went, this works, let's put it on a plane, let's go. These guys actually built themselves a tank and did a bunch of tests. That's pretty cool. The Type 54, Viking 4, I completely skipped that entire line here. The prototype was a five-seat cabin biplane with a pusher prop driven by a Rolls-Royce Falcon water-cooled V12. The Type 54 Viking 4 incorporated further refinements, had a wider cabin. It's an interesting look, actually. You can see how much wider that gets back there. Yeah, interesting. Had a wider cabin. That was about a foot wider, just above the water plane, or the water line there. A Viking 4 was used by Ross Smith and J.M. Bennett to race. Well, they were racing, but they died. Good Lord, what is my problem today? My problem is I've recorded this 3 times, and the stupid thing has crashed every single time because I've been an idiot and going, let's hit our numbers, and hit shift 1 and been like, oh, crap. Okay, let me try that again, okay? Okay. Ross Smith and J.M. Bennett, who were partners in a 1919 England to Australia flight, died on 13 April 1922 just outside Brooklands racetrack near Waybury in Surrey when they were flying one of these aircrafts. That engine failure went and died. Most of the Mark IV Vikings had Napier Lion engines. We're flying a Mark IV Viking, so we have a Napier Lion engine. Further development used a redesigned wing structure, and the 450 horsepower Napier Lion would have become the Viking 6, but it was renamed the Vulture 1. The Vulture 2 had a Rolls-Royce Eagle 9 360 horsepower engine. Both of them were used for unsuccessful attempts at around-the-world flights in 1924. After the Eagle engine, a Vulture 2 was replaced with a Lion, because apparently Rolls-Royce had bad engines back then. They first set off from Calshot Seaplane Base on 25 March 1924. The other plane, which was Vulture 1, was shipped as a spare machine to Tokyo. After mechanical difficulties in earlier stages, the aircraft crashed at Akyab, where it was replaced by the aircraft that was shipped to Tokyo. Then they encountered heavy fog on the Siberian side of the Bering Sea and crashed. And that was the end of the round-the-world attempt. They got pretty far when you think about it. Made it quite a ways. I'm looking for what we're going to do with this airplane. We're going to land it in the water because it's a plane that can land in water. The Viking Mark 7, or Type 83 when you go at Vickers numbering, was a development of the Vulture. It's a 3-seat open cockpit fleet spotter. It was designed for an Air Ministry specification, given the service name Vanillus, or Vanillus, whatever, when taken on for evaluation by the RAF against a Supermarine Seagull. The last Viking amphibians were built during 1923, but the name was reused for the twin-engine VC-1 Viking airliner 22 years later, which saw service as the Valiant with the RAF and other air arms. Some Viking amphibians were built by Canadian Vickers Limited, a subsidiary company in Montreal with no previous aircraft manufacturing experience. Their involvement with Viking led to a future line of indigenous flying boats, beginning with the Canadian Vickers Vedette, which brought heavily on the earlier designs. So yeah, that's, you know, your sister company who goes, yep, like it, gonna borrow it. Do I have room to land? I got plenty of room to land. Crew of 1 pilot, capacity of 3 passengers. Our maximum speed is a whole 113 miles an hour. That's 182 kilometers an hour. And our range is 925 miles. That is 1,489 kilometers with long-range tanks aboard. I particularly love the engine placement. So classic for this era. They were still working out some of the bits about how to place things, how to get proper cooling, all of that kind of stuff. Here we go. We'll bring the engine to a stop. Eventually the plane will stop as well. Eventually. Oh, that's a boat. That's a boat. That's a boat. Get out of here, boat. Get out of here. Don't clip my wing. You gibbon. You gibbon. Jeez, dude. Man, did you see? Oh, look at him. He's scared to death. Look at him. He's like, oh my God, he almost died. Okay. We're not going to look at him anymore. All right. So this is the Vickers Viking. Again, the number keys don't work. They crash Flight Simulator X. That is fixable. I just don't feel like fixing it, honestly. After 3 crashes, I just don't feel like fixing it. It's an interesting aircraft. An interesting older aircraft. You don't find a whole lot of these. I mean, yes, the cockpit is kind of needing some help. The water inside the plane is kind of silly. But, oh God, we're going to crash on that land, aren't we? Well, this is probably going to end well. Yeah, well. I can't even steer it because it doesn't have, we're not blowing enough, we're not getting enough airflow across our rudder. Oh no, we are turning ever so, no we're not. Oh, we're going to hit land. It's okay. We're beaching. Oh wait. Well, let me, oh look at that. I am now fully amphibious. Look at me. Woo! Yeah. Saved it. Woo! Props to me. I saved it. All right. There you go. The link to the Vickers Viking is in the description. Again, don't hit the number keys. It'll crash your game. Or it might crash your game. Maybe it won't crash yours. It crashes mine. All right. Until next time, this has been your Flight Simulator Explained Spotlight. The Vickers Viking. The Type 54 Viking 4 to be absolutely precise. Until next time, remember, when you fly an amphibious plane, make sure you have a dolphin on it. It's better for the plane. It saves it from things, stuff.
On the 1283 Kennedy Tower, greetings. Falling heavy, Boeing 767 touching down. Caution wake turbulence from 050 to 12, number 2, 4 right, set left.
Going in 4 right, 4 Vickers.
Copy all. 8 Lima Bravo, traffic just north of the airport, obstruction along the track routing. A helicopter not under defeat, DSU in sight.